Cheers and welcome. This is episode 1 of the brand new GNC podcast from the Golf Networking Club. And the podcast is golf, business and everything in between. My co-host, James Scurfield. Hi, James.
Hello, Scott. How are you doing?
Good. This is going to be fun, isn't it? It's going to be good
fun.
Looking
forward to it. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be available. So for the viewers, this is going to be available on YouTube and Spotify. They're going to be uncut, right? So we're just going to have conversations. We've got 6 topics, 3 each, and we're just going to talk about them. There's going to be some guests come on here sometimes, stuff like that, and anything goes really. So that's literally the format of it. Please make sure you subscribe and like the videos, or wherever you are, if you're the videos on Spotify, like them and subscribe. Each month we'll choose one of our subscribers from YouTube or Spotify and actually just send out some golf swag. So we'll get in touch with you and just go, look, you've won our monthly prize draw this month. We'll send you out some golf swag. We don't know what I mean. Might be one of our towels, might be one of James's hats, might be a glove, lots of things. We've got some put out things in the which I'm testing obviously in the kitchen. So wherever it is, we're gonna. But first of all, let's talk about our sponsor. So it's a GNC podcast, but really appreciative of the support from my co-host and our sponsor, Scurfield Associates.
But this podcast is for anyone really that's interested in golf, has a business, and just general chat, because we're all currently still in lockdown. We thought this would just be a little bit of fun, share our thoughts on a number of different topics. I don't know what Scott's going to ask me. Scott doesn't know what I'm going to ask him. And feel free, if anyone feels that they want to contribute, like what we have to say, whether we're funny or not. More, Right, go on, mate.
Keep commenting. If you want to come on the show, get in touch. The more the merrier. And we're just two, average golfers. James slightly better than average, and so we kind of can relate to a lot of people across a lot of spectrum. Right, so we'd like to thank our sponsors for supporting this podcast. They are Scurfield and Associates, who help families protect their wealth now and in the future, ensuring their assets passes safely to their loved ones. For more information, check out their website, www.scurfieldandassociates.co.uk, the preservation of wealth specialist. All their links will be in the descriptions wherever you're watching or listening to this, so you can click straight through and go and see what it's about. But highly recommend them and very thankful for the support, James.
No, you're welcome.
Right, let's get into it, yeah? Let's get straight into it.
Let's do it, mate. Let's get straight into it.
As the co-host, you get to go first then. Go on, in the very first one, you get first topic.
Okay, so I was thinking over the last week when we initially spoke, but I was keen, and I don't know if I've ever asked you, what made you get into golf initially?
Oh, good question. So initially I was in it when I was quite young. When I think I was about 8 or 9, but just playing with my dad and my uncle. I remember I had got bought. They bought me a 7-iron, a pitching wedge, and a putter. There was a pitch and putt over. We weren't lived too far from Harlow then, so there was a pitch and putt course over in Harlow. Used to go and play, but didn't like fall in. Like fall in love with it. Anything. Didn't really think of anything like that. And then just over the years, just played the odd pitch and putt, and that was it. And then when I started sort of getting serious about work and climbing the sort of managerial sort of ladder of my corporate career, so I was it'd be good to play golf, if you could play golf. And that was it. And my manager at the time took me out. That was a course in Peterborough, actually. My first full-size course was Alton Meadows in Peterborough. A course with a lot of water on it. So, git. Weren't the best of things. And that was it, really. And then, so I played for a number of years like that, just really playing a lot of pitch and putt and things. And I would say probably, still around the 28 handicap easily, like if I broke 100, I was well happy,
nothing's changed then.
Nothing's changed, yeah. And then I had a gap. Then I started getting into more seriously when I was coming to the end of my football days, really. So when I was about sort of kind of, I suppose, 15 years ago almost, when the end of my football, when you start going home, your bloody things. Then I started playing golf more seriously. and then I got to about an 18 handicap then quite quickly, and then with life and family didn't play for years, and then just kind of was at a network thing with Richard, and we just sort of said was at a golf course, said it would be good to get back into golf. He was the same scenario. I hadn't played it for years because of family, and that was it. And really it been probably played more golf in that year after that than I'd had for probably ever. So quite, in reality, quite new to golf, I suppose, if you think about it then. So really that was 4 years ago. So relatively still quite new to golf, I suppose. And actually nothing like that. I think actually, 38 handicap now, probably. No, but, what am I now? What, 16 is my official one, isn't it? But probably that.
Yeah, I think you're 14, 15, 16, aren't you, really?
We'll see what it is after lockdown.
Yeah.
Probably go back up to 38.
Right.
And so go on, you. How was what's your story?
We're a family that never played golf. I think my dad had a set of golf clubs in the shed. Probably he worked for NatWest Markets, but I think. What? Sorry.
That's the ones you play with now.
Yeah.
So old.
And I can still beat you. Says it all, doesn't it? But no. So he had a set of clubs in the garage. Probably played once a year at a corporate event. We're from a footballing kind of cricket family back in the day. And then all of a sudden, there's a guy in America, I don't know if you're familiar with him, called Tiger Woods.
I've never heard of him, yeah.
Now, Tiger started hitting all the headlines, this kind of young black golfer, winning tournaments by a country mile, huge euphoria over him. And I started watching golf a little bit and reading the headlines, and just because of all the hype from him, I thought, and I used to kind of go to the driving range with some mates and just smash some balls with no real care, and then started reading up about him. Every day I was working in the city, and I used to, at lunchtime, I just used to spend my whole hour going onto his website, reading little tips, reading his articles, and then I just started playing.
You're not married, are you?
Pardon?
You're not married, are you?
Not yet.
Can't be why.
Yeah, I just love everything about him. I love his determination, his focus to win, the way he plays the game. He's so talented, isn't he? And and he's the only reason I got into golf. He's my favorite golfer and will always be, although I do have a few other golfers at the moment that I like. But yeah, he's the one. I don't know if you'll have to tell me if my swing looks anything like his, or the way I play the game is. No. worth a shot. But
you've got something over him though that he hasn't got, is that you are the luckiest golfer in the world.
Do you know what? I was waiting. I've made a note. I was like, I wonder if he asks. I wonder if he mentions that. But that's a skill in itself.
What, getting lucky?
Yeah, lucky. You've got to be a little bit lucky in golf.
Yeah.
But yeah,
he was a little bit lucky. James Scurfield lucky.
And also, I think as well, when he teamed up with Nike as well, and the very clever adverts he did, created that kind of global iconic stature. So I think that was clever as well, because you start relating to the funny videos and the little, when he was chipping the golf ball in and out of his legs and then hitting it. So then everyone that kind of messes about or plays golf thinks, well, I'll try and do that as well. So that was the.
Remember the one where he was knocking out the windows of a building, and he was knocking out the window in the same club.
And things like he's teed off, that hotel in Dubai that's got that kind of helicopter pad on it. I forget the name of it, but he's teed off from that before events in Dubai, and so he's the reason. Yeah.
Yeah, from a business sense, been branded really well, isn't he? And,
phenomenally well.
Yeah. And even you think of what his troubles he had, how he's he's still absolutely loved, and pulled,
Yeah. Is him winning the Masters the year before? Is that the biggest sporting comeback ever in the history of sport, or?
I mean,
I
because
can't.
the guy's had he's had what? He's now having his fifth
Yeah.
back, surgery, his fifth time with back surgery. But the one he had before with this fusing his spine and all that together, most people can't walk after that, let alone hit a club.
But just when you say that, like almost like soldering his back together, like that just to me just feels like complete stiffness. And how are you ever, in his interviews, he worried about even walking again, let alone swinging a club,
We saw
let
him trying
alone
to come back, didn't we? We saw him keep trying them comebacks and getting taken off the course, but in actual fact, funny enough, although it wouldn't be the journey he chose, but I actually think that helped him win the Masters when he did, because of that. He actually gained, like, people started feeling, sympathy for him. He's a human being, you can see he's in pain. It's, forget what's happened. The guy's in pain, and we don't want that on anyone. And I think it made a lot of people root for him when he did.
Yeah, and also as well, I think it's a huge. It just shows that no matter what level of sport or who you are, when there are difficult times in life, it's important to, have your loved ones and your family around you to then refocus, work out what it is you're looking to achieve, and go and get it again. Do you remember he was didn't he get stopped by the police? He was in a parked car, high on meds or whatever he was taking for the back, and that was just such a sad. And there's been so many documentaries since, but such a sad. Seeing that is quite. And when that's your own icon, it's quite sad to see. And then, the last couple of holes on the final day at the Masters, I'd had a couple of beers watching the golf, and I'm not ashamed to say I had a couple of tears in my eyes because I was delighted.
Yeah, I'll tell the one that got me. Was it the Tournament of Champions or something that he did? The first tournament he won when he come back at the end of the year, and that 18th when the camera turned, all their people, and you saw even Rory looking back, and then
even Rory would admit he was a fan that day.
That was I was really up at that. Just the emotion of that was unbelievable.
I know. Just shows, doesn't it, that winning mentality. You've got to just dust yourself off. And even in the climate now, these are unprecedented times. You do go through ups and downs in life, but you just got to keep your purpose and your focus and work out what it is you're looking to achieve. And that's why I think golf, you and I, we always have great rounds together, don't we? And even when I'm five up with 7 to play, or you're, I end up, but it always seems to end on the last hole or the second last hole. It's always nice to get out, clear our heads, have a chat, talk about golf. It's brilliant. And that's what I miss. I'm itching to get out.
Ironically, I had all the years I didn't play, and throughout my life I've always watched a lot of golf now, which is interesting. But I've always watched a lot of golf. So.
I haven't. I used to have it on all the time. It used to be on in the background while I was just working. It's quite nice to have. You don't even need the sound on. It's quite nice to just watch the golfers play golf and play all the various different shots. And I love watching Phil Mickelson scramble around. And there's me thinking he's played poorly and shoots 6 under on a course that I would probably shoot, 100 or 110 or something. So
doesn't touch a fairway, does he?
No.
One of his rounds I watched from. It was a highlights of one. Can't remember, some major channel tournament in 2016 or something, and he literally had hit 2 fairways the whole round, and still managed to go around like 67 or 66, something like that.
I know, it's the completely different level of golf, isn't it? It's a completely different level.
But, right. So next we've got to get through these because I want to be 16 hours past here. So my one is. And I really want you to kind of just bang on the thought of this. And I haven't put much thought of this beforehand, a little bit, but who's going to win the majors this year? I
was thinking of putting that. Okay, so
let's go. Let's go. Right, Masters.
The Masters this year, I think Dustin Johnson again.
I would agree. I think he's got it now. He knows how to get around that course.
He's phenomenal. You know, in terms of golfers, I was just talking about Tiger Woods. For me, he's up there with him, or just not you know, the Tiger's Tiger, but in terms of love of golf, and I just love the way he portrays himself on the course. It just seems so relaxed. He's got this really lovely, relaxed walking style. He's a phenomenal driver of the ball.
He knows how to play that course now better than anyone, probably since Tiger.
Yeah, and also what he's really worked on over the last few years is that wedge. You know, it's that kind of 100 yards and in, or whatever distance he can use that wedge. If he drives the ball well and his wedge plays good, he's actually good at putting as well. You know, very few are going to beat him. But I think I'm going to go with Dustin Johnson. And you?
But, no, DJ. I think he's got it now
Okay.
already. I think because if he shoots 3 under on the first round, even if he's like 3 or 4 off the lead, people are going to go, "Oh my God, he's going to have that Tiger effect at the Augusta now, because people know he can play that course." So what next one? We got the UK Open, so the British Open.
Yeah. Okay, the British Open. I'm going to go with John Rahm.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Changed recently, isn't he? So changed to Callaway.
Changed to Callaway. Don't know why, but he's changed to Callaway. Yeah, I'm going to go with John Rahm.
Oh, okay, interesting.
You?
I'm going to go with probably a bit of an outsider on this one, but I'm going to go with Paul Casey.
Okay, are you writing this down?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll be able to remember. So we both went DJ, didn't we? And then Masters. I'm going to go Paul Casey on that one.
Okay.
So then US Open.
Okay, US Open. I'm going to go with Justin Thomas.
I wrote down Justin Thomas already. I might have to go with someone else then.
No, if you feel.
Well, my second one was for the US Open, was going to be Tony Finau.
Really? Okay.
Now, he was also going to be my outside bet of the Masters, but I know even this weekend, I mean, he choked again this weekend, didn't he? When he had a chance really to go ahead and win it. But I've got a feeling there's going to be a tournament, and it's going to be a major tournament where he's going to be so far ahead that he's actually putting's not going to get into his head on the last round. So he can't putt on the last round, and he proved that again yesterday. He just made some stupid shots yesterday, and his putting on the last round was terrible. But I think there's going to be a tournament and a major where he's like 6, 7, 8 shots ahead, and when he does choke,
I can't see that personally.
Well, we'll see.
Only because I just think the style of his swing, this kind of 3/4 swing, I think it's very difficult to gauge your distance control personally. I might be completely wrong stats wise, but I just think with that 3/4 swing, I don't think.
The bag, the club, he's got, well, he's using his driving iron a lot more this year. I've noticed he's come out this year. But then he stuffed that into the penalty thing, didn't he? The water yesterday. But I think tee to green, there's no one better in any conditions. But I just
really, that's a huge statement. Really, tee to green. You don't think there's anyone better than Tony Finau? Is it Finau?
Justin Rose, I would have put there, but I think Justin Rose has gone off the ball.
He's gone well off the boil.
I think John Rahm and JT and DJ will be.
Okay, we should. Do you know what we should do then for our viewers, or for you and I? Let's hope we do get some viewers. But for you, why don't we check that then? Why don't we give ourselves some homework to do for next week?
Also, put in the comments who you think is going to win the majors.
Yeah.
And if you just go, who you think the best tee to green? So not putting, tee to green player. Who would you go for? One of the big boys then, DJ or something like that then, or John Rahm?
Tee to green, Dustin Johnson, mate.
Yeah. Okay. which is at the US Open. So what
Okay,
about the PGA?
the PGA, that's Bryson DeChambeau.
Ooh, yeah, kind of. We haven't mentioned him, have we? So
No. Did you have DJ for the Masters as well? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the Masters, the Open, I had John Rahm. Who did you have?
So the Open, I had Paul Casey.
Paul Casey. Wow. Paul,
And
if
then,
you're listening, you've got a fan there.
you're back.
Okay.
And you had JT for the US Open. I had Tony Finau after changing
US Open.
So for the PGA, I'm going to choose Justin Thomas then for the PGA because I think he will win a major.
Okay, and then the US PGA, I've got Bryson, and you have who?
JT, Justin Thomas.
Okay. So we haven't really, well, actually, I haven't really been adventurous with my selections at all, have I? But you actually have with Paul Casey and Tony Finau. Am I saying that right? Finau.
Yeah, Finau. Scurfield. Potato. It'd be interesting if he wins some tournaments finally. I mean, he's won one, isn't he? 2016, but it was where there was no one there, the big boys. But yeah.
Who's this?
Tony Finau. But I think if he wins one beforehand,
he hasn't won a major though, has he?
He's only won that one tournament, whatever it was.
I know, yeah.
Next go with none of the big hitters there. But I mean, I was looking at stats at the weekend. He's been in the top 10 35 times since his win and hasn't won.
Right. Okay. Here's a good question then. Would you want to be in the top 10 for 35 tournaments?
Yeah.
Or would you like to win one tournament and not be in the top 10 for the other 34 times?
Would he swap them 35 for one tournament win?
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Because I think he knows as well, that one tournament win he needs that, and a proper tournament, because the one he won, there wasn't any of the big players. I think there was none of the top 10 playing or something like that.
Right,
so,
okay.
But
it's still a W, as they say in America, isn't it? It's still a W.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Right. So, go on in your second topic then.
Okay, so my second topic is, what is the best golf tip that you've ever received?
See, it's difficult to the best one because you get different ones at different times, don't you?
Okay, let me break it down then. During your golf career, at what point did someone give you a tip, or you started working on something where you saw the biggest impact in return in terms of consistency and results?
Okay, well, that's the last one then, because so Nick Monker, who's and if anyone's watching, Nick will be watching this, but Nick Monker, he's Instagram.
Nice plug for Nick there.
Well, he's for GNC, he's our ambassadorial sort of PGA Tour pro guy on there. So I'm a bit biased, but he had a sort of playing lesson when we was playing Chigwell, and this was after, so we come out of the first lockdown, and I was enjoying my golf, but I just wasn't scoring, was I? I just couldn't. I mean, I was literally struggling to break 100 and the lockdown. And then after a while, it stopped getting. I'm just enjoying golf now. It's getting really stupid,
Yeah.
And I was working, and I couldn't work out what it was. I was really was starting to get annoying me, if you like, because there was a lot of things I was working on that didn't seem to work. And then I had a playing lesson. I played with him around Chigwell, and he just took me through about my shoulder, my right shoulder. And
you're Scott's right-handed, by the way, if anyone's listening.
I'm right-handed, which is that, yeah. So and actually the shoulder, how it works through the thing. So he saw a video of me and said, right, try and push your right shoulder through as fast as you can. And then when we were playing on the course, he actually showed me more where the path of my right shoulder should be through the golf swing. And everything could stem from that. And I actually do feel like I'm playing my most consistent. And not only that, like before, a couple of years ago, I shot my best round, which is 84, around Nottingham.
Par what?
27. No, past 72,
Okay.
Nottinghamshire signature course. I think it's 72, or the championship course. Wasn't a signature championship course, so I think it's 72. But the or it might be 71. I don't know. Anyway, but that being my best round, and I shot a few that year in the middle 80s, around 86 and stuff like that. But I felt that was me playing at my top then, right?
Okay.
When we played last, didn't we? The last time we played, Blake's shot 85, shot an 85 around Chigwell a couple of weeks before that with you.
Yep.
Well, good luck, Charlie, at the moment, didn't you? Shot an 86 somewhere. I can't remember where I shot an 86. But all of them actually felt like, even the last one, that was like my level now, rather than that's the best me playing. So even that one that we played, I shot me 85. I felt like there's 4 or 5 shots that I left out there. So,
Wow,
so I would
good.
say the best tip that I've had that's taken me to another level completely, which I wasn't sure I could get to, was that one from Nick about my shoulder. So
Okay, good.
and yours?
So I've got 2 tips. The first tip was a number of years ago, and someone said to me that the way a golf swing should kind of feel is if you kind of set up in your normal position and then just get the back of your bum to touch a wall, and then as you bring down, the club really shouldn't hit into the wall. It should just at the top there, touch the wall, and then almost feel like your arms are coming down and you're dragging the club down along the wall and then in. Okay, and that's really stood me in good stead going forward. So it's not kind of a swinging motion; it's more kind of up and down ish.
Mm-hmm.
And then the most recent one is that right hand. So I'm right-handed as well, but my right hand tends to get a little bit weak and gets underneath the club. And my lazy shot, which annoys me, is where it goes out and then it just drifts off to the right, like the kind of your typical golfer type of just fade. And
I quite like it when you play that shot. When we're playing each other.
well, you and I know you just lose so much distance, don't you?
Yeah.
And it's a nothing type of shot. So I've really been focusing over the last 3 or 4 months now, really getting that right hand wrapped all the way over. It felt bizarre, but now I'm really you saw me play just before lockdown.
Yeah,
It's
played really well, didn't you? And also, I mean, that was the first time. So doing that, because when we played the last time, it was the first time you felt like a lot of your iron shots you were in control of, rather than just hitting. We're not that way, so hitting the hell out of it. But it felt like you was a lot more in control. So do you feel like with your hand, then like that moved over a little bit, that you were more in control of the path of the swing rather than having to hit through it?
Definitely, definitely. And I felt as well that my hips naturally turned more. And I did actually feel that I was in a lot more in control of the golf ball. It was the first round I'd really, properly put it to test. But you saw it in wet conditions. You saw how far the ball was still traveling. There was just that one tee shot on the par 5 where it was going to happen, where it was kind of like a snap hook that went out of bounds and had to tee off again. But that was really, and I shot an 80 on a par 72. I shot an 80 and got a 7 on an easy par 5. So, coming in with a 78, I can't, ideally, I can't grumble with that. So I've just been practicing every day, swinging a club, 40 or 50 times throughout the course of the day, just to keep that hand movement going. But I can't wait to play.
I have a shorter club that I just have in the house.
Yeah, good. Or is that because you got little legs?
It might be that, yeah. It's not far off a full size one, probably.
Scott, here's a joke for you. What's ET short for?
Don't know. Go on.
Because he's got little legs.
Oh, okay. You can rate that out of 1 to 10 in the comments, all right? And,
okay.
Right. So best tip. That was a good one. That was. Who gave you that tip? It's my. If it was a YouTube video, don't answer.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't a YouTube video. I forget who it was. You're talking about 10 years ago.
Oh, right, okay. Well, you
Yeah,
only
and
just started putting in practice.
yeah. So,
Right. So my second topic as well is: do you watch any golf video channels on YouTube? And if yes, have you got a favourite?
I used to watch them a lot.
Yeah.
I don't actually watch them anymore on YouTube. I do like when the presenters on the Sky Sports channels, when they break down and start talking about the golf swings of different players and what they've changed, and that I find that fascinating. But I'm an average golfer. I'm not trying to pretend I'm better than I am, but I've moved on from the little learning how to play pitch shots and chipping over bunkers. For me, it's now the finer details. But one thing I do find is on Instagram. Instagram have some very short. I think in the world today, we're too quick to. I don't know how long this podcast is going to last for, but people will switch off within 5 minutes. But we're too quick now. Life's too quick. We all of a sudden all don't have any time. So the Instagram posts now are quick, 30 seconds, 60 seconds.
I'm the same actually, and I think I tell you what I think it is from business sense is because I really like Nick Doty's Tea Time Tips on Instagram.
Yeah, perfect.
Minute long, brilliant. And he talks so much sense as well. It feels like
Nick, if you're listening, congratulations.
Get on the show. Ask to come on the show. We'll get you on the show.
Oh, that would be, imagine that. That would be amazing. Not just to chat with him. I don't think, I wouldn't say a word for 2 hours. I'd just let him talk about his life's journey and what it is like to play, at the top.
You could just listen to him talk. And his understanding of the game from different levels is fantastic, isn't it?
He seems like a decent guy as well.
So I used to watch a lot of YouTube and then gone really off of them as well now. And it's not because I think that I know it all well, because there's always something you can learn. And I'll always react a little bit to clickbait, like this blah blah blah. But this thing about add 20 yards and all that sort of stuff, and they get on. But I think one of the big problems is at the moment, and my people nowadays, but from a business sense, right? So most of these YouTube channels just from a business sense. So like Rick Shields and stuff like fantastic channel. There's a lot of them, Matt Fry and all that, fantastic channels, give absolutely great value. But it is a big income for them. The YouTube channel income for them so it's a big part of the business for them, and it allows them to do more of that than have to do so much coaching and stuff like that individual, right? But the issue with that is that if you want to YouTube and earn money from it, your videos have really got to be 8 minutes minimum and 10 minutes. If you're doing one every day, they've got to be 8 minutes or 10 minutes to get what they call like the CPM or the RPM or whatever, right?
Okay.
So if them guys do 2-minute videos, for example, their earnings from YouTube videos will go way down to next to nothing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they have to. So if you're doing an 8-minute video, it used to be 10 minutes, but now it's down to 8 minutes. But if you're doing like a 10-minute video, you can have an ad at the start, an ad at the end, and you can get away with an ad in the middle in a 10-minute video. Yeah, and we'll skip ads, but a lot of people click on them or whatever. And that's where your income comes from. So if you've got a 2-minute video or 1-minute video, like Nick Dozy did his Tea Time Tips on YouTube, he wouldn't be able to put an ad in there at all because it'd be longer than the bloody video. So, so in that sense, he wouldn't earn any money from YouTube. And I think that means that a tip that could be like great is actually stretched out a little bit. And I get why they have to stretch it out. I get why they have to do videos, but that long, that's fair enough. But I think that doesn't help. For me, I've got a bit bored of watching a lot of 10-minute videos when really it's a 30-second split, that I've watched Dirty sort of video, Tea Time Tips, and got the same tip in 30 seconds, so
yeah,
I think that's the sense about that.
Never thought of it from that angle. It's obviously what you specialize in, that type of marketing.
But having said that, I would say that my favorite on there is probably, like a lot of people going by subscribers, is Rick Shields. I think quite unbiased, and I know it gets a lot of the clubs sent to him and stuff like that, but I think a lot of his stuff is very much aimed at the normal person.
Who's the guy I've seen on YouTube though that does come up with a great? It's a different kind of technique. It's changing the mindset of how you play golf. But for example, he would practice hitting a ball with a giant oversized club, or he'd use like a tennis racket out of a bunker. I'll have to find out who I'm talking about, but it's an interesting, it's an interesting way of looking at, because I think we all overcomplicate things.
Yeah. There was one I was looking at that was really technical, but I liked a little bit of it, and then I realised it was just too technical. You can't think about it in the golf swing, you know. So anyway, and also probably the best goal is probably Golf Networking Club now. It's probably the best channel on there, I would have thought. Yeah.
Well, that's a big statement. You're going to have to back that one up, mate.
We'll see in a couple of years' time. Okay. Right. So, how many have we got? So you got your third one, haven't we? Got one each more to go. So your third topic.
Okay. So my third topic, I was just curious to find out, what's your favourite club in the bag currently?
Oh, well, I've got my bag here for a bit of tops in. Bit of sponsorship for Orca.
Oh, that's cleverly placed, isn't it?
I don't get any money at all yet, obviously, for many of the clubs. But Alex, if you're watching, Orca's fantastic clubs, irons. I love my irons, Orca's. Now, what's interesting, my favourite club, I would say there's two that I'll have to decide between. I'm always my putter I've changed recently.
You have to pick one. Come on, what's your favourite club in the bag at the moment? What do you enjoy picking up?
So my favourite club in the bag that I haven't got in here, ironically, is the one club I have at the moment, is my 5-wood.
Okay, your 5-wood.
I'll tell you why my 5-wood, because it's the one, if I'm playing badly, I can still feel like I can still hit my 5-wood off the floor, and for me, hitting my 5-wood.
You mean when I'm always playing badly, my 5-wood comes out?
But my little... I haven't got it in there because I showed you a picture, didn't I? I've actually just resprayed it because it's old now as well. I probably need to change it over, but I actually just refurbished it a little bit. It's all gone silver now. My white 5-wood. Okay. But it's a club that more often than not it hit really sweetly, whatever I've leveled, even when I've been playing like a bad day. So it's always my go-to club for me, that 100 and sort of anywhere between sort of 185, 190 to 200, I'll go with that club as much as I can. And it gets me. It's like we play Blake's.
Yeah, you'll be about you'll be about 30 yards short.
Well, you say
you
that.
Don't hit a 5-wood 200 yards, do you?
I hit you. When we were at Blake's, I can't remember the hole. I think it was hole 6 par 5, and I hit a really good drive, and then I duffed my other one where I had more mud on me than a blood in the ball, and it went 10 yards. And I was trying to, and I wasn't even trying to hit something hard then. I think I was even trying to just lay up, and I still duffed it only 10 yards. And then because it's my third shot, and I had 215 to the flag, to the middle of the green, and I hit my 5-wood to it, and that was the one that I hit absolutely pin high, that when I just absolutely screamed it through the thing. So yeah, I would say when I catch it. Is
that the par 5 I teed? Is that the par 5 I went 3-wood 5-wood and on the green and just missed the eagle putt and went away with a birdie? Is it that hole?
No, the one
6th dog leg round to the right over the.
No, because you went left of it. I was on the front 9. I can't remember which one it was. But I remember I didn't think I was going to hit it that far because I kind of hit it out of anger, thinking I was going to be short of the green, but I'll be just at the front of the green. And where Chris was walking in front of us, I almost hit him because I just absolutely screamed it. So 5-wood for me, followed closely by my.
Okay, 5-wood for you.
Got in. Yours?
Okay, so 5-wood for you. My favourite at the moment is my pitching wedge.
Right.
Now, the reason I have chosen my pitching wedge is because it's it's very wet at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think that whenever you're firing the ball into the green, the ball isn't really rolling that much, so you can really attack the pin and play more target golf. And I've just got so much variety with regards to yardage. So as you know, I don't have a gap wedge. I've got a sand wedge and a pitching wedge. So there's that huge, excuse the pun, but gap in between both the clubs. So the pitching wedge can go probably at the most comfortable swing, 132. And then it can go all the way down to my sand wedge is about 95, 100. So I've got that huge variety, and I can play.
I imagine that most par fours, you've got your pitching wedge as your second shot. Then, yeah, is it your most used club?
Yeah, definitely. And even around the green, instead of trying to get a better, in the muddy conditions, it's so hard with a sand wedge or any of the wedge, the lob wedges to get such the perfect contact, to land it on the perfect spot on the green. I think it's a lot easier to just use the pitching wedge and almost, yes, get it in the air, but more kind of punch it in type of shot. Okay, so yeah, cool. For me, it's my pitching wedge at the moment.
Have you got a name for your favorite club? Do you call it anything? You've got a little loving name for it?
No.
Wedgie?
No, I don't actually. Do you name your clubs at all? I can't believe we're going down this road, but anyway, do you name?
A few of them I do, and it's going to remain a secret to maybe another podcast in the future. That might be a different topic. But my five.
Okay. Watch this space.
To do my Mr. Reliable is what I call my 5 wood to myself, and I think I've always used it as a bit of almost. As I say, I think that's why it works well when I play. Maybe I should call all my clubs reliable, but when I'm even playing badly, that'll go like, "Come on, Mr. Reliable." So I kind of almost talk myself into it that it's going to be my reliable club. Yeah, but no, let's know. I used to have champion. Not so much to do with irons, obviously, on that, but like my trusty my gap wedge, which is my next favourite one. It's one of these ones where it's an old Mizuno one, but it's the the rusty thing where it goes rusty. So I brought up my trusty rusty that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like that beard getting all rusty, like that beard of yours getting all rusty, eh?
And my putter is always my baby.
Okay, Scott.
Right, so third one. So the last topic we got. So which is quite cool. So this is more of a mental thing, right? Why are players like Spieth, and I've picked these 3 out particularly, but there's a few of them. I think there's 4. But why are players like Jordan Spieth, Ricky Fowler, and Justin Rose struggling at the moment? I mean, when we go back 2 years, these 3 were going to rule the world. I mean, Fowler's not even won a major yet, has he? Spieth hasn't won. Well, he won the British Open, but Spieth at the moment 86 in the world. 86 world ranking.
Wow.
Jordan Spieth.
I would have.
Ricky Fowler.
Do you know what? So
Ricky Fowler, we often think of top 10 player. Ricky Fowler, 60th in the world rankings at the moment.
Okay.
Justin Rose, 38, and he finished 57th at the weekend. And Justin Rose was like tee to green, wasn't he? He was the player. He looked like he just won the £10 million FedEx thing, didn't he? He won a major, another. It looked like he won the Olympics, didn't he? He's won the US Open. I mean, his US Open is now 7 years ago.
He's won the Olympics.
He won the Olympics now.
Wow, seven years ago.
And he won the FedEx a couple of years ago, didn't he? Changed to Honda, didn't he? Them clubs, and he's like, just so unreliable, so inconsistent there. And all 3 of them are. I saw a thing recently with Justin Spieth saying about his driver. When he hits his driver, he doesn't know where it's going to go.
Who's Justin?
Jordan
Who's
Spieth.
Justin Spieth?
Jordan Spieth, his brother.
Okay. Yeah, I can't comment about him. I don't know anything about him. But Jordan Spieth. So Jordan Spieth back in the day, with his ability to get up and down from anywhere, and he was draining putts left, right, and centre. I
Yeah.
truly thought that he had that mentality and that golf swing and the game to continue to win majors. I'm surprised that he's dropped off not off the face of the earth. He's still in the kind of top 100, which when you think about the amount of millions of players that play golf in the world, I think that's still pretty good.
Yeah,
but
still good, but
I think with all of them, Scott, and a bit like, but I think with all of them and a bit like ourselves. So Fowler, I think he's a good player, but I've never thought he's up there with the best. Okay, so he doesn't surprise me. Rose really surprises me. Rose had such a beautiful swing, very consistent, great iron play, great tee to green, and I think with a lot of them, or all of them, like ourselves, we're continually looking to tweak things and change things and try and, I don't know what it is. I don't know if we've all been sucked into I don't know if it's just us as human beings, but we're always looking to get better and improve, aren't we? You're more than me, always talking about swing changes, like constantly. The amount of swing change, you've had more swing changes than I've had hot dinners. Yeah, you have that.
Yeah,
and I think when you get, I think you. What?
I've got a smooth swing now. I've got a smooth swing.
You have a smooth swing, yeah. You need to hit the ball further and hit the ball harder. And
well, I think that's why I've always looked at it, because I've always, I think I've always.
But yeah,
my levels jumped, so I've changed my swing a little bit to get to maybe get to like from 24 to get to 22 to get to and then like when I went from 24 to 14, and then in the space of like a year and a half, I then felt I couldn't go any further at all. And it's almost gone through a cycle.
Yeah, but then But Scott, that's down to your mental capabilities, where you actually don't believe you can. No, you're laughing, but it's true though, isn't it? It's imagine teeing off with 100 other people that can all hit the ball pretty much as far as you, or maybe slightly further, can all hit iron shots as far as you. Those elite golfers, the top kind of 10 that consistently perform well. I think that's just, I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's, is it a bit of a blessing from God that you've kind of been given that, and the ongoing support and training and relentlessness, I'm guessing. But I think with everyone, I think we're all trying to tweak our swings. Jordan Spieth, if he could go back a few years, when he won the Open.
He won 2015, he won 3 majors in that 1 year, didn't he?
Yeah,
and he looked
three majors, and I thought after that, I thought worst case scenario, he's going to pick up 1 major a year. I thought he was at that level.
And he picked up the Open, didn't he? He went through, I think that year, 2017, he went through a bit of a struggle, didn't he? And then we collapsed at the Masters or whatever. He had like the 12th hole, which a lot of them done, haven't they, over the years? But then that Open that he won, I mean, he shows his whole intelligence of, I'm going to win this tournament. What he did when he took that drop in the practice zone,
Yeah, I know.
Even the official, and his whole awareness going, this is what I'm going to do to win the tournament, and then you just see him now. You just think, my God, what's gone wrong,
I don't know whether, I don't know if, what do? Do you go back and try and remember how your swing changed then?
That's what I think must be difficult for them, because like they try and make a change.
Because here's
how I was swinging. Don't know.
So here's a good question then. So at the moment now, with the swing that you've currently got in your mind and how you feel, are you playing your best golf you've ever played or not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what you're doing at the moment, you should stick with.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't start changing any other things yet.
Yeah.
Until you really master that, and then you get to a level of, let's say,
about me not getting bored of watching YouTube channels now, if you like, because I don't want to change my swing now.
Yeah, where you're at now. And I think And with myself, I can't wait to get out and just keep this right hand all the way over more. And just, if I can tighten that up even more, I'm excited to what I can be shooting. But then the question for me will be, because I'm naturally going to be playing now with a bit of a draw again, is in the summer, that could crucify me with the bone dry greens and getting into danger. Because at the moment, it's just plugging, isn't it? And I'm getting, and it's not rolling anywhere. Now, will I have to then maybe look to tweak things? But that's the beauty of it, isn't it? That's why we all, why are we doing a podcast? Because we both love golf so much. We love everything about it. We'll continue to love that. But yeah, great question, mate.
We do see them, like you see Rory, you see him constantly working on something, don't you? You even see the professionals, with their practice swing. I mean, it's even like JT, with Just Thomas, you see him constantly doing that thing where he looks to where he's putting the club in the backswing, doesn't he? Which is, and then, but I mean, I get what you say about Fowler, because I always thought Fowler he needed that major win early, I think, to break. But but he's always been it was
Here's
a
statement. Here's a statement. Here's a statement for you, okay? I might be completely wrong, but Fowler will never win a major, okay? I'm going to put it out there. Bit of controversy, but yeah, Fowler will never win a major, okay?
Yeah, I agree with you.
He's an incredible golfer, don't get me wrong, but I just think, no, he won't win a major.
I think in this day and age, the way the level the professionals have got and the amount of different players that can win week to week now, that there's so little between a 200th player in the world, if you like, to a number 14, 15, if you like, and I think but the thing with Fowler, I don't think he can put 4 solid rounds in.
But also, Scott, it's the pressure, it's the media, it's your expectations. I've been here before, it's happened again. Like, I love the guy, but look at Lee Westwood,
Yeah.
It's very easy, and this is what I think Rory McIlroy is a little bit guilty of. But it's very easy to be 15th coming into the last round, 8 shots off the league, and you shoot like 10 under, and you shoot 10 under, and you finish second or third. Yeah, there's really no pressure. How many times, and this is to all golfers, how many times do we have a bad front nine and have a good back nine? Because we're like, well,
Well, one of my topics I had as a spell, we had 2 the same, but just in case we had another one, I had a spell one about when we may talk about it in the next podcast.
Why don't you save it?
About McIlroy.
Save it.
Yeah.
No, save it. Well, actually,
what does Justin Rose do now? Then I mean, Justin Rose, he's only 38, so he's not terrible. He's making cuts, but he can't be happy with going around making a cut and then finishing third from bottom, for example. All over the place.
Of course he's not. He's thinking, where on earth do I go now? Because I think he's got rid of all his coaches, hasn't he? And he's trying to do things his way now.
He's gone back to his old clubs. From what I saw the weekend, he's gone back to his old TaylorMades. But so he's got that Honda thing has done and dusted, and he's come away from them.
Yeah.
But he's not a contract TaylorMade player. So he hasn't got a club contract at the moment.
Is he going to American Golf to buy his clubs? Is that what he's doing?
The problem is he's not going to get, how big TaylorMade have got now, and they've got their posse of players, and he's not going to get the support that he needs from TaylorMade, is he? If he's not going to be on a contract with them. So where does he go? Does he, and do they, is it, he can't go and turn around, he can't go, I'm going to go and get a contract at TaylorMade. He needs TaylorMade to come to him and offer him a contract, doesn't he? And are TaylorMade going to do that after he went to
Scott, I don't know how that works.
When he left them, he was world number 1. I'm not being funny. If I was TaylorMade and you got a player that gets to number 1, wins the FedEx, and you're thinking, wow, this is a marketing dream. And then he announces he's going to another club manufacturer. Yeah.
Now, we probably need to do some research and find out why he did that. I'm guessing, did Homer offer him a hell of a lot of money and it was just too good to be true? Or Was it good marketing and the techniques, and the quality of the clubs he believed were good and could maybe give him the edge above others? I don't know, but
I think I looked a lot, tried to look as much as I could into it really, without not knowing, obviously inside the rope sort of type thing, if you like. But definitely, you know, you can't say it's about the money, because he just won $10 million or something, like when he went, and he's not short of a few bob, is he? So I don't think it was entirely about the money, but I think from Homna, they were trying to get a top name, obviously, with their brand. I think for him, the thing of supporting the brand, becoming the brand's number one, he was never going to be TaylorMade's number one. Whatever he did with TaylorMade. I mean, they've got Tiger Woods using their drivers, they've got DJ, they've got McIlroy. I don't think he ever felt he was going to be the number one. So I can understand him going to a club manufacturer where he was going to be their focus. You know, he was going to be their guy. Also, I read somewhere that he wanted to shape them, help them build the brand, and be a big part of that for the future, and also shape the club. So have a bigger say in. So he's obviously got an idea around the technical aspects of clubs and stuff like that, and design around clubs. It wouldn't surprise me, you know, it wouldn't surprise me, depending on his game though, it wouldn't surprise me if his next contract is a Justin Rose iron, you know, that he's got someone to manufacture himself, because there's obviously something in that. But then the fact that he's been bitten now, the fact that it didn't work, what, you know, if he had that control over the clubs and stuff, it must have been a big want from him to make it work, and it hasn't. But you know, I'm not being funny. You know, if you got to number one in the world, you know, if you shot 72 tomorrow, right?
But look at but Scott here. I don't know. If someone offered me 10 million to switch clubs, I think I might give it a go. But look at John Rahm. John Rahm was in phenomenal form last season. All of a sudden jumped to Callaway.
Yeah, well, we've got to wait and see on that one, haven't we? Whether that's you won't know. Yeah. I mean, it's a bit like when you know.
But why do these people do it? What, you know?
McLaren to Mercedes, the first year looked like a terrible decision, but now he's seeing the fruits of labour. But the one that surprised me about John Rahm going to Callaway, it's not that Callaway ain't great clubs and all that sort of stuff, but the one that surprised me about it was Sergio made that move, didn't he? After he finally got his major. And I think he made his move more on the fact that TaylorMade and Adidas were breaking up, weren't they? But he made that move, and it didn't work out for Sergio, did it? I mean, it's taken him a long time to get back to any resemblance of the Sergio we know. But so the fact that he would know the inside scoop on that, being Spanish, and you know they all seem quite close knit, them Spanish, you know, Neiman, Sergio, and Rahm and stuff. That I'm surprised he's made that move, the same move that Sergio made. Unless he's just played with the clubs and just loves them, you know, and just thinks, right, these are more for me, you know. And maybe it's because I think again, outside in perspective, but from the inside, I mean, it seems that other than taking Tiger Woods aside, it does seem that if you're a TaylorMade player, you've got to be all TaylorMade. So you've got to be TaylorMade drivers, TaylorMade wedges, TaylorMade irons, TaylorMade putter. Right? And I don't know if that's saying a contract, but a lot of the other clubs, if you look like Paul Casey's got a deal, isn't he? He uses Titleist Vokey wedges, but he uses Mizuno irons. I think he uses Titleist woods as well. So, you know, so there's some of them had deals where they can use what putter they want, or they can use any make of putter they want, or any make of drive. You know, they just put it's like what's his name, Brooks Koepka, who we haven't mentioned, funny enough, in the majors this year, Brooks Koepka, but didn't get a look in. Where he's been in without a club contract, if you look at his head covers, have always just been a standard Brooks Koepka head cover rather than a manufacturer head cover.
Okay, I didn't know, never knew that.
Although apparently I saw on the weekend doing a bit of prep for the show, because there is some prep that goes into it, that he's looking at signing for Strixon. Apparently he's spotted with Strixon irons in the bag. So
wow.
But
he's going to tee off with a range ball, a Strixon range ball, isn't he?
Well, the little yellow ones with a red line down the middle.
Yeah, that's it. Range, Srixon range ball.
But,
Scott, what are you thinking? Are you thinking we wrap this up now?
Absolutely, yes. We've done our 3 of them.
Yeah, I think otherwise we're not going to have any other podcasts because we're not going to have anything to talk about. I do have a lovely. I'll save this one for next week, but yeah, I'll save what I've got down here for next week. Something.
You're not going to tease it, or you're not going to tease it for them, or?
No, it's just it's. I don't want to spoil it, but it's a real. It's actually quite a meaningful and lovely.
Cool.
Anyway, I'm not going to say too much.
Anyway, listen, so absolutely great. Obviously, please, subscribe, like the video, do the words good, share it with people. Or don't if you hate it.
Yeah.
If you hate it for certain reasons, tell us why you hated it.
Yeah, good idea. Tell us why you hate it.
It might be they don't like beards. I don't know. That would be a downside. But I did say I wouldn't shave mine until the COVID stops. So that could be quite long actually.
That could be long.
Like surprise comments on it particularly. So we talked about what I liked in the comments is who you think are going to win the majors, because if you comment now, obviously it'll be there for lifetime. Yeah. We'll be able to look. I think it'll be interesting to do a review.
Scott, can you do? Yeah, you're the techno whiz here. Could you do some sort of poll so that we could actually see if anyone does ever click and then puts it? Can you do something like that so we can go through that next week or not?
I'm
Is that
not
possible?
Sure.
Okay.
Right, sure. But what we will do, we'll review it. If people put their comments in when they see this, and then we'll review it after each major, see how close we were.
Brilliant.
James, thank you very much for being the co-host.
Pleasure.
Please tune in. Obviously, we're going to try and get one of these out every week. So come along. We're going to have some, maybe a guest on as well to spice it up. And any particular topics or comments you want to talk about, put them in the comments and or get in touch. And we'd love to see you. And once we can get back out in the golf course, love to see you come to a GNC meeting in Essex. It would be great to see you if you're around that way. And this is Essex, UK, obviously. This might be global, obviously, by the time we get out of this pandemic lockdown.
We love you, and we love you, world. You take care.
And check out Scurfield and Associates. If you haven't got a will, because apparently 60% haven't, have they? That's something like that. Is it still that number?
Bit less, yeah. Well, anyway, we're not doing it for that. We just want to generally talk about golf, and if we want to reach out to people that want to have a chat about things, golf related, anything. So yeah, awesome. I thoroughly enjoyed that, Scott. See you next week.
See you next week.
Take care.